Hey everyone, so it's Cohen here. Wanted to make a video about hysterectomies. So, first things first, I had my top surgery in January of 2015, and since then I have been working a little bit, but not a lot due to personal health reasons. Nothing to do with transition, but just some other stuff. Anyhow, what I've decided is that I wanted to look into getting a hysterectomy sooner rather than later. Because after my wedding and everything in October, when I do start working again more full time, hopefully around that time, then I don't want to have to worry about just starting back at another job and then being able to get my histo, but I have to take time off work, and I haven't been somewhere long enough to request the amount of time that I need off work. So what I've decided is to try to find out information about getting a hysterectomy in the Toronto, Southern Ontario areas. So what I've found out is at this point, from what I've been told, my hysterectomy should be covered even though I changed my name and my gender marker. I'm sure that I'll probably have some people commenting below telling me that that is not true, but I've actually talked to someone and they got their hysterectomy covered, and they had already changed their name and gender marker and everything like that. So I don't know, maybe if it's the surgeon that you decide to go to if it's not covered or what it is. But my understanding at this point in time is that it is, and that's only because I haven't gone to have my referral yet. So hopefully I will be able to give more information once I have my appointment with the doctor who would be doing my hysterectomy. So what I've done so far, I went to my doctor's in St. Catharines at Quest Medical Center, and I got a pap test done because to get a hysterectomy, they would require you to do that anyways, and it was something that I figured I should do because I hadn't been in a really long time. So I figured it was about time to go get that taken care of. Did that. Um, the doctor that did that was a doctor that works at Quest Medical Center in St. Catharines that is joined up with my doctor who deals with my transition and my hormones. So luckily, it was actually not awkward, it was not uncomfortable, and it was probably the best experience I've had thus far with that type of appointment. So, to be perfectly honest, it wasn't as big of a deal as I thought it was going to be, which was fantastic because we all dread having to go for those appointments, and as much as they suck, we know that we kind of have to, but at the same point, it's all upon our own accord if we want to go. If you do not want to go, that's your own decision to make, and no one should judge you for that. So if you are someone who is totally scared of going and you're not ready to go yet, then don't let anybody hold that against you, because at the end of the day, it is your decision. So if you decide that you're not ready for it, then that is your decision. But I will say that if you can find a doctor that you would be comfortable with or one that is trans friendly, I would recommend going just so that you do make sure that nothing wrong is happening. From that point, I got paperwork to go to an ultrasound clinic, and at the ultrasound clinic, I had to have a pelvic ultrasound. So that's the one where it's more invasive, and I don't want to get into details because I don't like talking about my bottom half. I don't think it's anybody's business what is going on with my lower half. I also don't like to go online and talk about it. I give kudos to the guys who do. It's very informative and very awesome, but I am not going to get into detail. At the end of the day, if you want to know the detail of that procedure specifically, then my best advice would be to go to a doctor. I don't like to give too much detail on something that is more medically advanced than I can speak of. So all I will say is that it was more invasive, and at first when I walked in, I gave them my health card. I told them what I was there for, and I gave them my paperwork. And I sat in the waiting room for maybe 5 minutes or so, and then a older gentleman came outside and called me in, and I figured, okay, well maybe they're just coming to get me, and I didn't want to be rude because at the end of the day, when I called to make my appointment because I needed the referral paperwork to be able to go for the ultrasound. So when I did call and make my appointment, I did specify that I did want a female doctor and that I was a trans male. So the only thing that I can think of is maybe they wrote something down too close together, or they misconstrued something, or they misunderstood what I was saying. So the thing is, when I went into the room for the pelvic ultrasound, and also I got your standard ultrasound over the stomach type one, um, I did go into the room with him, and I realized that it was just me and him. And before I closed the door, I said, I'm really not trying to be rude. I'm sure you're a super nice guy, but I did request to have a female doctor, so I was just wondering if it was still possible that I would be able to do that. And luckily enough for me, there was a woman standing at the end of the hall who also does the exact same test. And I guess they had been looking at my paperwork and they themselves were also confused whether I wanted a female or a male doctor. So she was actually waiting outside the room to see if I had wanted to have a female doctor. So that was awesome. No one was offended, which was great. But I found that just nicely saying, I'm not trying to be rude, but I had specified that I did want a female doctor. Is it possible? And literally within 30 seconds, that problem was taken care of, and it wasn't a big deal anymore. So when I did initially go into the room, because they make you drink at least 32 ounces of water before you go for an ultrasound, and you're not allowed to go to the bathroom first, and you have to drink that amount of water roughly an hour before your appointment. So needless to say, you do have to go to the bathroom really bad. But all in all, the ultrasound on the stomach took about 10 minutes, and the tech was very nice, wasn't rude in any way, very understanding of me being trans. Also, what I noticed was very polite. They do everything in front of you, so you don't have to worry if like some doctors, I guess you go into it and they have everything all trayed up and ready to go. And I know that some people are very cautious about that, and that kind of bothers them. They want to see things being done in front of them, so you're also able to see them get everything ready in front of you, so that's another good thing. After that, I was able to go to the bathroom, which is fantastic because I had to go really bad after drinking all that water in such a short amount of time. When I came back in the room, I was given a paper drape to put over myself and pretty much just told like where I'm supposed to be laying on the bed and roughly what was going to happen. And then the lady left the room and she came back about 5 minutes later. They gave me about 5 minutes, which I don't need that long to get ready. So, but they give you about 5 minutes, and then they knock on the door and they ask if you're ready to come in. And when you say, "Yeah, I'm ready," they come on in. What I experienced was pretty cool because as intimidating as those type of appointments are, the pelvic exams, it was actually not too bad. The tech that I had, this is the only part where I will say anything about my lower half. I really don't like talking about it. I do have some dysphoria involved with that, and I'm just not the type of person that likes to talk about my lower half or certain other sexual topics. So I'm not a I'm not opposed to talking about things, but there are certain things I will not talk about. But what I will say is that they tell you that you are supposed to put the ultrasound stick in yourself so that the tech is actually not looking down there at all. So if you're worried, for me personally, this is what happened. I don't know about other doctors' offices elsewhere. I went to St. Catharines. If anybody wants to know the address because you're in that area, you can feel free to comment below or you can email me. I'll leave my email. But either way, so after I did that part, all she did was make sure that she was getting the pictures that she was supposed to be getting, and not once did she have to look underneath the paper sheet that I was given, or did she look in the general direction of my lower half. So that was actually quite comforting, knowing that I actually did not have somebody right up in there checking everything out, so to speak. So that was a little bit more comforting. On top of that, she's very nice. For people that don't like to talk, during. I'm not one of those people, so there was a little bit of talk, but more or less not too much. So if you're one of those people that you're more comfortable in silence, then I think as long as you just let the person know that you're really uncomfortable with this and to just you're not in the mood to talk, and if you just want it to be done and over with, and that's fine. And most of the time, people don't give you too much of a hard time. I know I said, like, I'm good, I don't need an explanation because my doctor had explained to me what would be happening, and they gave me a quick run through, so I knew exactly what was going to happen, and I didn't need the long, detailed explanation of everything that was going to happen. So that was good. That lasted around 10 minutes as well. So in total, for my ultrasound that they do over your stomach and my pelvic ultrasound, it took 20 minutes from the point that I walked in pretty much until I left the building. So that was awesome. They were very friendly. They were not rude in any way. They did not disrespect me. It was a really good experience. So with going to Quest for my PAP and then going to this other ultrasound clinic in St. Catharines that I was referred to, I found that my experience with a pelvic ultrasound, a PAP test, and a regular ultrasound was actually not as much as I had been dreading. It wasn't as big of a deal as I thought it was going to be. I know some people it's a nightmare for. And if there's anybody out there who is looking for a doctor that's going to be okay with it and you're going to not have to worry as much or whatever, please comment below. I will give you all the information that I have on how to contact him and things like that. So from that point, I had the PAP, the pelvic ultrasound, and the regular ultrasound. On top of that, I went and got blood work done because the doctor that I go to in St. Catharines said that all of the patients that go to the doctor that I was referred to, her name is Jillian Oliver, and she is in Kitchener. So the surgeon that I'm being referred to is someone that they always refer to and they trust a lot and is very trans friendly. So since they already know what's required after your consult, what they did for me at my doctor's office was they set up all my appointments that I would have to do after my consult and referral. So I'm doing them ahead of time so that when I do get my consult with Dr. Oliver, then it'll be so much easier and I won't have so much to do and hopefully the process can go quicker. So that's what I did to this point. By Monday, I was told that my results for my ultrasounds should be in and they will be sent to my doctors in St. Catharines. My blood work, they let them know that it was done and that the results should be in by early next week as well. So hopefully, with any luck, I will have a phone call coming to me at some point next week to make an appointment with the surgeon for a histo. And at that point, I will also be asking a lot of questions when I go in for my referral. I will be making an update video to let everyone know how that consult went, what it involved, things like that. So at this point in time, if anybody does have any questions that they want to know regarding a hysterectomy, what I'm looking to go get is the laparoscopic, which is where I'll show you. I had a laparoscopic surgery for my appendix, so I'm not at all worried about this one. It was a really easy surgery, so I'm not too concerned at all. I'm pumped to get it ready to go. But pretty much what they do for a laparoscopic is they will go in through your belly button and they will go through roughly somewhere over here on either side of your hips. Sometimes they do the incisions both here and then one in here, or sometimes they will do one here, and one a little bit lower. So I know that it all depends on the surgeon and the surgery, obviously, of what you're getting done. But that's what it is. You get three little scars about half an inch to a centimeter roughly, and my scars from my appendectomy are invisible. Unless I'm really looking for them, I cannot find them anywhere. So if anyone is worried about scarring for a laparoscopic surgery, I had mine when I was 14 and I'm 28 now. So that was 14 years ago and I have no scarring from that, which is completely fantastic. Along with that, I do know that during a surgery that they do on your abdomen, they do fill you up with air so that they can do the laparoscopic procedure properly. That does give you back pain, so I do know that after surgery, you do want to walk around and make sure that you're working all that air out of your body. And you do, just like for top surgery, you do want to make sure that you have some stool softeners afterwards because the anesthetic that you are under, and with having all that air pumped into your abdomen, you will end up probably not being able to go to the bathroom as easily, and the anesthetic also backs you up. So those are two things that I do know right off the bat that will need to happen. I'm sure the aftercare is somewhat similar, so I'm expecting that to be the same. But if anyone has any questions about anything, I hopefully will be going soon for my appointment. I will update everybody when I get my appointment date, and I will definitely be posting a video with as much information as I can. If so, please comment below. I'll leave my email in the description. Um, Feel free to email me any questions that you are curious about. If you are looking to get a histo, if you are just curious about a histo, or if you're not quite sure. Any and all reasons, please feel free to ask, and I will jot them down, and I will take them to the surgeon with me, and I will make sure to ask my questions as well as all of your questions, and I will get back to you guys as soon as possible with all those answers. I do not believe that I have anything else to add to this. I know this video is really long. I know that most of my videos tend to be a little bit on the longer side, but I do like to give as much information as possible. Um, the purpose of this channel really is to make sure that there is as much information given out as possible, along with my personal experiences along with it. So if anybody is a little bit perturbed that my videos are a little bit long, I do apologize, but I do want to make sure that I put in my experiences along with the professional opinions and details given to me by doctors that I trust and I have had meetings or actual procedures with. So I hope everyone has gained a little bit of knowledge from this video. I hope I have helped some people see past the fear of pap tests, ultrasounds, those types of things. And if any questions, guys, please below, go right ahead. I'm willing to answer any questions that you have. I hope everybody has an awesome weekend, and I will get back to you guys when I know what is going on with this histo thing. Later, guys. Bye.